Time and time again, dumb crooks get caught because they leave a trail of evidence behind. This is literally what happened in 2009 when a burglar broke into the Captain's Galley seafood restaurant in Hickory, North Carolina. He entered the building at around 11:30 p.m. and set off the alarm. He wound up fleeing the scene, but not before making off with 2 cash registers. When officers arrived, they saw an empty juice malt beverage container on the ground near the broken front door. The footage from the security camera told the rest of the story. In the video, they saw a thin man dressed in black and wearing a black knit hat. He walked into the takeout area of Captain's Galley and knocked over 2 registers. He then attempts to pick them up together, but he is unable to handle both at the same time. That's because the registers were still plugged in through a hole in the counter. While he struggles to lift the machines, a roll of cash register tape falls out of one register and rolls across the floor and under a chair. However, the burglar doesn't seem to notice as he is too busy yanking on the power cords. Eventually, he manages to get both devices unplugged. The suspect is then seen knocking over items as he walks out of the restaurant with the 2 registers. But just as he exits, another cash register roll falls to the floor. Once again, he doesn't notice the roll falling out. This would turn out to be a huge mistake. That's because the paper rolls may have fallen to the floor, but the other ends were still inside the register. As he ran away, the paper continued to unravel from both registers. So he was literally leaving behind a paper trail. Officers were stunned at how easy they were able to locate him. They simply followed the paper trail for about 50 yards. It led them right to an apartment. When they got closer, they heard loud banging noises coming from the building's open front door. When they looked inside, they saw a man struggling to pry open a cash register with a screwdriver. They shouted at him to drop it and come out, but the man decided to slam the door and lock it. When officers forced their way in, the suspect was trying to hide under a couch. The 31-year-old burglar was then taken into custody. The Captain's Galley owner said that they empty the register every night. He noted that there were only a few coins inside. In other words, even if the suspect had gotten away, there was no payday for him. Instead, he was charged with felony breaking and entering and obstruction. He was jailed on a $500 bond. In 2008, Anthony Garcia was arrested by Los Angeles police for driving with a suspended license. Because Garcia appeared to be an active member of a local gang, police took pictures of his tattoos. One day, Homicide Detective Sergeant Kevin Lloyd was looking through random pictures of gang members' tattoos. When he saw the photo of Garcia's markings, they reminded him of a case he had worked on years earlier. It involved a gang fight at a liquor store back in 2004. That confrontation ended with one fatality. However, the shooter had managed to evade police for 4 years. After pulling the old case file, Sergeant Lloyd became even more curious. He then drove to the liquor store just to confirm his suspicions. He also compared crime scene pictures to Garcia's tattoos. What he saw was amazing. Everything from the Christmas lights outside the liquor store to the light post in the store's parking lot were depicted in Garcia's tattoo. Even the Rivera convalescent home next to the liquor store was prominently featured on Garcia's chest. There was also an image showing a helicopter, sometimes called a chopper, spraying bullets on a victim. Chopper just happens to be Garcia's gang nickname. In addition, the victim was pictured in the scene as the famous Planters mascot logo known as Mr. Peanut. That was no coincidence. A peanut is also a name used to describe a rival gang. According to Detective Lloyd, the tattoo was so accurate that he referred to it as a crime scene sketch and a confession. He said the tattoo artist even matched the trajectory of the bullets. Even the deputy district attorney called the tattoo a non-verbal confession. Garcia was arrested and charged in October of 2008. It was said that he was so proud of his tattoos that he would talk to other people about them and explain the meaning. In fact, he talked so much that he wound up confessing to officers posing as gang members in the jail. As dumb as this guy may sound, the deputy district attorney saw it differently. He said, "I would never say that he's not intelligent. He was able to avoid detection for 4 years. Rather, it was his arrogance that got the better of him, not a lack of intelligence. Police were given enough information to even locate the man who drove the getaway car. That individual also confessed and faced 20 years in prison. As for Garcia, he was sentenced to 65 years to life. In 2016, police in Canada were called to a home in Vancouver after the caller reported seeing an intruder. At around 8 p.m., a stranger had walked into a home through an unlocked door. The resident of the home was watching TV in another room. According to police, he thought the noise he was hearing was from his roommate. But there was so much commotion that he decided to investigate. When he went into the kitchen, he found a naked man. The intruder had removed all his clothing, took eggs out of the refrigerator and began cooking them. He had even damaged the stove and microwave in the process. The resident then chased him out of the home and called police. Officers were able to locate and arrest the naked 35-year-old suspect just a few blocks away. Let's face it, if you're running down the street naked, you're really going to get noticed. They charged the man with mischief and breaking and entering. As weird as this story sounds, Vancouver police say it's not the first time they've arrested a naked man breaking into a home and cooking some eggs. And they're right. In 2013, Vancouver police were called when someone reported finding an intruder in their home. In this incident, the resident discovered the stranger around 7 p.m. The suspect had taken a shower and was now in the kitchen cooking himself some eggs. And as similar as these stories sound, the suspects were not the same. That's pretty scary. After chasing the intruder out, the homeowner called police. Officers were able to catch the 30-year-old naked man just a short distance away. Since he had time to take a shower and prepare a meal, police estimate he was in the home for at least 20 to 25 minutes. They suspect the man was on drugs at the time. He was charged with being unlawfully in a dwelling house. Police had this advice for residents: ensuring your doors and windows are locked is a simple deterrent. Don't make it easy for someone to break into your house. That's very good advice. There are people out there who actually think that an unlocked door is an open invitation for them to come in and make themselves at home. Hopefully stories like these will wake more homeowners up.